Genesis chapter 5. Here is the written story of Adam's family line. When God created man, He made him in His own likeness. He created them as male and female. He blessed them, and He called them man when they were created. When Adam was 130 years old, he had a son in his own likeness. He named him Seth. Adam lived 800 years after Seth was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Adam lived a total of 930 years, then he died. Seth lived 105 years, then he became the father of Enosh. Seth lived 807 years after Enosh was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Seth lived a total of 912 years, then he died. Enosh lived 90 years, then he became the father of Canaan. Enosh lived 815 years after Canaan was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Enosh lived a total of 905 years, then he died. Canaan lived 70 years, then he became the father of Mahalalel. Canaan lived 840 years after Mahalalel was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Canaan lived a total of 910 years, then he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years, then he became the father of Jared. Mahalalel lived 830 years after Jared was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, then he died. Jared lived 162 years, then he became the father of Enosh. Jared lived 800 years after Enoch was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Jared lived a total of 962 years, then he died. Enoch lived 65 years, then he became the father of Methuselah. Enoch walked with God 300 years after Methuselah was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked with God, then he couldn't be found because God took him from this life. Methuselah lived 187 years, then he became the father of Lamech. Methuselah lived 782 years after Lamech was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Methuselah lived a total of 969 years, then he died. Lamech lived 182 years, then he had a son. He named him Noah. Lamech said, "He will comfort us when we are working. He will comfort us when our hands work so hard they hurt. We have to work hard. That's because the Lord has put a curse on the ground." Lamech lived 595 years after Noah was born. He also had other sons and daughters. Lamech lived a total of 777 years. Then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis chapter 6. Men began to increase their numbers on the earth, and daughters were born to them. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, so they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not struggle with man forever. He will die. He will have only 112 years to live until I judge him." The Nephilim were on the earth on those days. That was when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. The Nephilim were the heroes of long ago. They were famous men. Nephilim was also on the earth later on. The Lord saw how bad the things of man had become on the earth. Out of the thought in his heart was always directed only toward what was evil. The Lord was very sad that he had made man on the earth. His heart was filled with pain. So the Lord said, "I created man on the earth, but I will wipe them out. I will destroy people and animals alike. I will also destroy the creatures that move along the ground and the birds of the air. I am very sad that I had made man." But the Lord was pleased with Noah. Here is the story of Noah. Noah was a godly man. He was without blame among the people of his time. He walked with God. Noah had 3 sons. Their names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was very sinful in God's eyes. It was full of mean and harmful acts. God saw how sinful the earth had become. All of the people on earth were leading very sinful lives. So God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all people. They filled the earth with their harmful acts. You can be sure that I'm going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark out of cypress wood. Make rooms in it. Cover it with tar inside and out. Here is how I want you to build it. The ark has to be 450 feet long. It has to be 75 feet wide and 45 feet high. Make a roof for it. Leave the sides of the ark about a foot and a half from the top. Put a door in one side of the ark. Make lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring a flood on the earth. I will destroy all life under the sky. It will destroy every living creature that breathes. Everything on earth will die. But I will make my covenant with you. You will enter the ark. Your sons and your wife and your sons' wives will enter it with you. Bring 2 of every living things into the ark. Bring male and female of them into it. They will be kept alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird will come to you. 2 of every kind of animal will come to you. And 2 of every kind of creatures that moves along the ground will come to you. All of them will be kept alive with you. Take every kind of food that you will need. Store it away. It will be food for you and for them. Noah did everything exactly as God commanded him.